Hello, hello.
Alright, I'm in a game. Whoops, sorry. I'm in a game, so I'm not gonna join the lobby until they're done and we know what's up with Clutch Key.
Hello, hello. Testing one. Gauge some sort of a mic.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Oh yeah. Take you like a fill you like a pill to get my fill. No, do me in the worst way. Don't let me sleep, never say sorry. Oh, maybe I'll leave, baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Oh yeah. Take you like a
Hit you back and now you overreacting. Hate that shit with a passion. Yeah. Have a little self-respect, don't wanna put you on blast, but you should go ahead and practice. Shut the fuck up right now and let me breathe. Shut the fuck up right now, let me do my thing. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Quit hitting my phone up, quit hitting my phone up, quit hitting my phone. Slow down. I ain't hit you back, now you overreacting. I don't play that elastic. You be like, when we gon' fuck, what we gon' do? You should try and quit asking. Face from my back on the phone. Ain't been famous for a while, but I'm still up in my zone. And I don't usually smoke, but I'm high on sativa. Seawater in my tea, I smell like heaven, I'm a diva. In the league, so loud, I'ma speak at the eck and I hear you know I'm gone. Don't you be blowing up my phone, I'm in a different time zone. Ever since the matter of time, my girls is better than mine. Oh, the band is the good, you hand, but you still don't know how to handle your wine. That's probably why you hate me more. Yeah, I got a rule, cause I've done this before. That's probably drugs and don't fuck them no more, cause they can fall in love if you fuck them before. Don't get me wrong, I really like it when we're vibing. I'm in another city, shh, be quiet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rose League game here between Team Reborn and ExPandable University here in the regular season of the league. My name is Clutchkey on your play-by-play. Joining me for the color side is Mr. Zark. What's up, sir?
Hey, Clutch, I'm glad to be here. I'm really excited to see these two teams. And yeah, I just can't wait to see some more Overwatch.
Well, we're excited as well. I mean, lots of things going on in this week of Overwatch, but we're here focusing on the game between Team Reborn and ExPandable University, and I'm kind of excited for this one because you and I have seen plenty of teams in our time, at least between our other league, but this one is our first time to see both teams.
Yeah, and you know, this is the second time that we've casted a Rose League match, so I'm glad to be able to see some of the other teams that are competing in this particular tournament, this particular league. So, funny story, actually, ExPandable University, I tried to actually get on their team at one time. They were going to have tryouts for a main tank, and I got in too late. They had the posting, and I responded to it just too late. They already found somebody, so that's unfortunate. But so I'm excited to see whoever they chose for the main tank in action. That's gonna be exciting.
and you being a main tank support, it really helps to know when everything goes all together here. So and you know, main tanks usually are one of the centers of the team, but you know, when you have that off tank as well working together, feels really good when you've got it all together as a main tank like yourself.
Absolutely, main tanks, you know, not to sound too biased, but they are one of the most important centerpieces, like you said, to any sort of team setting, right? For Overwatch, they oftentimes have a lot of the shot calling duties. They really direct the flow of the battle. You know, they decide when the engagements are going to be taken. So it's an important role, and I'm excited to see who they got to fill that particular position. But yeah, so I think this is going to be a great matchup. Again, it's Team Reborn versus ExPandable University. And I think the first map that we're going to be on today is Gibraltar. What do you think about that particular map, Clutch?
I mean, Watch Point Gibraltar all around is a really, I mean, it's one of the original maps, of course, as we've added a few maps here and there. But Watch Point Gibraltar, one of my favorite escort maps from the beginning. You know, you've got so much open space in pretty much all 3 points if you think about it. And again, you take a look at the map pool, Watch Point Gibraltar, and I'm thinking, for me at least, it's looking like this is going to be a very open area Overwatch matchup. If you take a look, Watch Point Gibraltar, Oasis, Temple of Anubis, and Hollywood is our lineup tonight. And I mean, Watch Point Gibraltar, again, very aesthetically open map. You've got so many options to do so. But I think a lot of times you see a dive comp, don't you think?
Yeah, dive is one of the most heavily run compositions on this particular map, and a lot of that has to do with high ground. You know, maps that have a lot of high ground for teams to utilize are great for dive because they get those tanks set up there, and they get the whole team up there, and they really use that as a staging point, right? You figure out, okay, who's the target we're going for? Usually it's the support. So where's that back line? And how can we utilize that high ground and combine it with our mobility abilities to find that back line, find that dive target, whatever the win condition may be, take it out of the equation immediately, and then the rest of the pieces crumble. So Gibraltar has a lot of high ground, therefore a lot of dive is run. So we should expect to see that. And another thing on Watch Point Gibraltar that's important to note is that lately, you know, in a lot of the games that we've casted, we often see teams unable to capture the first checkpoint. That's been sort of a recent trend that at least I've noticed in matches. And I think that a lot of that has to come to really teams utilizing what's called the blue box quite a bit lately. And it's something you see in a lot of pro play. I'm interested to see if we're going to see it here, because this is sort of a plat, diamond, maybe masters sort of range of game that we're going to see today. And with the blue box, right, you use that as a staging area, and whoever controls that area is going to have a more strong advantage point to utilize. So teams will often battle it out for that particular area. And so we'll see if that's something that comes into play here on Gibraltar. It's not always utilized by teams, but it is a very strong place for teams to utilize. So I'm hoping we get to see some of that. I'm hoping that we get to see the full map, but often teams that are utilizing that blue box, staging their dives from that area, often have very strong defenses, and therefore teams are not able to capture that first point. So you got to come into Gibraltar very strong with your dives and really utilizing that space well. And that kind of comes back to main tanks. Main tanks really help make space for their team. So we'll see how these tanks utilize that space.
So we're getting ready to get everything together. Looks like one of the teams is ready. ExPandable University is ready to go, and so is Reborn. So we'll see if we enter here in Watch Point Gibraltar in just a little while. There we go. Presses the enter game button, and let's get things started here at Watch Point Gibraltar, the island. And we were talking about the map already, so we might as well go off and give ourselves a little bit of a banter. Give us enough time to talk about what's going on around the world, and let's give a quick take. We'll talk about this later on in just a little while. 2 more teams revealed in the Overwatch League. You have the Guangzhou Charge as well as the Paris. Who was it? The
Eternal, the Paris Eternal.
Paris Eternal. There you go. So 2 teams. I want a quick take. We'll talk more about this at halftime, maybe between maps as well. Your quick take on those 2 teams.
Well, I think first of all, Paris Eternal, pretty strong lineup, very EU-oriented lineup, which I think a lot of people were looking for. That, you know, lots of people, there's divided opinions on this, but of whether teams that are in certain regions should be made up of players from that particular region. And so the people who think that, you know, if you're an EU team, you should have EU players are going to be very happy with Paris Eternal because there are quite a few EU players on it. I think it's a pretty strong lineup. But then I don't know a whole lot about the Guangzhou charge. I think that there were some leaks about who's going to be playing on it, but I don't think anything's been confirmed just yet. But I love the color scheme. It's very cool.
It's very cool. I really like their color scheme. But anyways, let's get down to business here. The Rose League between Team Reborn and ExPandables. Team Reborn in the blue, ExPandables University in the red. Let's talk about their team comp real quick.
Yeah, we have that pretty standard dive composition with Widowmaker and Genji. And then on the other side, it looks like it's actually mirror compositions. So, you know, it's going to be a battle of the Widows, but already Snipes falls for Team Reborn.
I think that was actually a reflex. Snipes gets the headshot technically on Endo, but Endo able to snap it right back at him with her flex. So Endo starting off with 2 kills, already taking down AWOL Killer, and the DMAC happens as well. So it looks like the first push here from ExPandables University is going to start off pretty well.
Yeah, Endo looking very strong on the Genji, definitely making a statement here that they are not somebody to be messed with. And look at how aggressive ExPandable University are, taking the high ground right in one of the chokes that Team Reborn has to come out of. This is a very strong start for ExPandable University.
So right now you can see they're playing super aggressive right now. Endo's already got the Dragon Blade coming out. He's got Pyro, he's got Power Gemini, and he's got Snipes as well. Oh my goodness, this man has no mercy on the other team. By himself, gets himself a quadra kill, and pretty much the team kill.
Oh my goodness, that was incredibly fast. You rarely ever see somebody generating their ultimate and getting that many kills off of it at this stage in the game. So ExPandable, again, looking so strong right now. Endo, they are on fire, and Khaled has their ultimate as well, so they're going to have that Primal Rage to stall out, make things a little difficult for Team Reborn to get through this choke. And Team Reborn, they made a switch from Snipes. They went from Widowmaker to the Sombra, trying to get into that backline a little more, but keep your eye on Power Gemini. They're going to be trying to get back into this with their own blade.
I mean, how impressive is this? Look at the positioning of ExPandables University. I mean, they've got this payload moving with only the Zenyatta from Karen. Otherwise, it's all ExPandables University pushing back this team from Team Reborn. That Transcendence is going to heal up the rest of the team, but really not much going to do with it. The Olo face is going to come out. We'll call him Olo for now. They're going to get DMAC'd out of it, and pretty much it's looking like a push and shove, but it's still looking like ExPandables has the chance here because you've got AWOL Killer going down, Power Gemini losing the reflection battle against Endo, and this point has no trouble getting to the second point. That self-destruct really off for not in 5 minutes 41 seconds. You've got an impressive amount of time back on this clock.
Whew, that is for sure. ExPandable University looking so good right now. So many ults in the bank as well. And Team Reborn, they really needed to win that last team fight because they used both of their support ultimates. So now they have restarted everything, which means Endel, they're going to have a free blade. There's going to be no defensive ultimate to save Team Reborn.
You may have one saving grace to keep Spike Mecha alive with that Primal Rage unless Endo decides to swing away at that. You've already got a kill from Agent Striker to take down the sniper of Henry C. And now here comes the Dragon Blade out from Power Gemini, coming down to the background, but really the Transcendence keeping him alive. And now the free Dragon Blade in the back. That's going to take Pyro down immediately. So does AWOL go down as well. And that's now the self-destruct coming right down. Not going to do much damage there. Spike almost dies from that self-destruct, but goes back into the spawn room and heals himself, but still the payload in the home stretch.
Wow, Spike Mecha, that was actually a really nice play right there. They saw that the Diva Bomb was coming out. They used their Primal Rage to stay alive. Really great stuff from Team Reborn main tank. But that being said, there are people still falling for ExPandable as the EMP comes out.
Coming in already, Transcendence is going to hold off for just a little while here, but the way things are going and the way things have looked throughout the game right now, ExPandables has the chance to push us all the way. You've got 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining on the clock, but now take a look at the aggressiveness. They're going to pull back a little bit with that kill on Power Gemini. This is the opening you want for ExPandables.
Yeah, Team Reborn, they really need to stabilize, so they're in a good position now. They're going to have this Nano coming online from AWOL Killer, but Team Reborn, I like the positioning of the tanks. For Team Reborn. ExPandable, they're trying to make some space, trying to get up there and make them uncomfortable, but at some point, the dive from Team Reborn has to come out.
They're going to try out and come defend this point, but Team Reborn has been pushed back all game long so far. ExPandables University trying to push this all the way through. Spike's got the kill on Henry to start. That's after the fact. that used the Primal Rage, so he's not going to have that anymore. No kills necessarily, but pushing back the team on the side of Expandables. Endo's got the kill on Pyro, so that's one support down, one left to go on Footmob, who's in the background. But again, it looks like a push and shove, but this time it looks like Team Reborn's going to have themselves a good defensive hold, but here comes Expandables.
And that Diva Bomb, we'll see if it connects. The Winston Bubble is there to stop it. Another Diva Bomb as well. This just keeps on going. But at this point, Expandable, I feel like you need to regroup, because if you lose anybody this close to the end here, it really doesn't look good. We're going to see this blade coming out from Power Gemini.
Power Gemini is going to get the kill on Henry C to start off. Now he's going to come down lower, looking for more swing. Now you've got the blade coming out from Endo as well. Takes down Pyro and is looking for more Expandables. Nobody watching the point. You got Snipes and Spike, the only ones there so far, but with the help of Endo, this is pushing up the payload even further. Snipes and Agent, the only two left on this point. Snipes goes down with the hands of Endo. Agent gets out of mech, and this payload has no trouble getting to the third point, and plenty of time to save for the next round if that's what happens.
And, you know, Endel, I know it's easy to say that they're impressing us because, you know, they keep popping off with these incredible blades. But what really impresses me about Endel is they're timing their blades to fit right after Pyro Rage has just used their Transcendence. So you're seeing that trans go online from Pyro Rage, and then immediately after, Endel's there with the blades. And so I think that Pyro, they need to start using those... they're using their Transcendence too proactively and need to be using it more reactively, right? As soon as Endel is the one who pulls out that blade, that's when Pyro needs to use that Transcendence. Of course, it's always tough because there are so many threats to your team that you're just trying to keep everyone alive. But, I mean, that is when Endel's going to come in, swoop in, and get those massive kills. So, Team Reborn, you know, they stabilized a little bit towards the end there. I think a little bit more efficient usage of their ultimates, better timing of them will take them a lot farther. But Expandable University, they had a good run. 2 minutes, 41 seconds left on the clock. So they're sitting pretty comfortably right here on their as they go onto the defense.
Keep in mind, in the regular season here, if you're taking a look at the Diamond standings here for the Rose League standings so far, go back and you've got Team Reborn with 1 win, sweeping all 4 maps in their first game, and then Expandable University on the other hand, not winning a single map in their last game. So maybe this is showing off a little bit of the difference here between a 4-set sweep and a 4-set sweep loss.
Yeah, you know, I think it shows that they're a very strong team going into this, the team that had the sweep. But, you know, there's always room for these teams to come back in, shake things up. It's still early in the season. We'll see how they interact. But this is interesting. Team Reborn, they're on the attack now, and they don't have that Winston. They're using instead the Wrecking Ball. Spike Mecha using that hamster pick. So I'm excited to see how they utilize that. But already 2 picks for the side of Expandable University.
Good start, Endel and Henry down in the dirt there, taking out Snipes and AWOL, so no more chance of a res either, and that means if your Mercy goes down, you're pretty much backed up, so Team Reborn's going to have to reset, and that was a quick one.
Yeah, Expandable University, they're running this double sniper composition, which means that Reborn, they have to be very careful about how they approach this high ground, how they move this payload forward, and they're going to try and approach that high ground and take the fight to Expandable.
So here we go. They're going to try their attack one more time. You've got Spike already playing aggressively with that Orb of Discord, making it very hard for Spike to even get in there with the rest of the team on him. Power Gemini takes down Endo, so that's one pick that you've got the advantage on the DPS side. Now, Snipes can hit something here on Henry C. They've got a good advantage, but the rest of the team, again, even with this 1 kill on Endo, it's a push and shove, and this payload barely moves.
Push and shove. Interesting to note, Wrecking Ball is just kind of in the background right now. They've gone onto the high ground and are making life difficult for Karen and Henry on the high ground. But now a Diva Bomb coming in doesn't connect.
Doesn't connect because it was behind a wall, well, behind the box at least, so it doesn't connect with anything really. Gonna get Team though, so good start. That's already 3 picks altogether, including, again, AWOL killer. The Mercy goes down, so Team Reborn backing up one more time.
And now Expandable University, they're in a good position to continue holding this, honestly. They have Karen, she's holding on to that Transcendence, probably going to be waiting for Power Gemini to be pulling out that blade. And then, you know, you have both DPS ultimates, a Primal Rage. Expandable, they're in a good position to keep holding this. Spike Mecha, they've just changed from the Wrecking Ball onto the Winston, maybe looking to get a little more value, maybe utilize a shield a little bit more effectively. So Team Reborn, they're not out of this just yet, but we'll see how they pull this off here as they approach that blue box area we talked about before.
Now, keep in mind, the team from Expandables had pretty much one push, and that's all they needed to get point A, or 1 or 2 pushes really to get to point A. They had about 2.5 minutes to get their, around 2.5 minutes to get their first point. You got 1.5 minutes left, and this is only about maybe halfway there, just over halfway there.
Yeah, and here comes the dragon, but I think it got eaten. No, it just went a little bit awry there. Not quite the value they were looking for. But now we're going to have that blade. Karen, she pulls out the Transcends just in time. That's the reactive sort of blade I'm talking about.
Self-destruct gets pushed down at the last second, even though it's 6 up there, but Agent not able to get anything. Snipes with a good kill on Endo. Still looking for Henry, though. If you're taking a look at it, and Henry goes down, so you've got 3 kills for the side of Team Reborn, and this time, you've got a chance. You've got the self-destruct coming in. That's going to at least DMAC. That might DMAC Agent, doesn't do so, but it does kill AWOL Killer. And again, nobody pushing up this payload, but this might be enough to maybe get it just short of point A.
Yeah, Team Reborn, they did a good job of winning that team fight, but no one was on the card, so they didn't really get the value that they were looking for there. So Expandable, they're going to have another chance to get back into this. Kalut, they're going to have that Primal Rage as they come back and get through this choke here. But Team Reborn, you know, they got a couple ultimates of their own. Power Gemini is actually getting pretty close to their blade too. So if they can farm that quickly and get that off, they have a chance to continue pushing this checkpoint A.
Henry's already got the kill on Snipe, so Snipe is Reborn. We will head into overtime. So if Expandables defend this point, they win the game. If not, Reborn has 2.5. If Reborn can push this payload up, they've got 2.5 minutes to get it to the second point, and already Snipe with a kill on Footmoth and Kalut, and that is enough to push up the payload. Snipes with 3 kills in the last 5.
Snipes looking really good. Great play right there. And now we're just seeing Team Reborn capitalizing on those bad spawns that you get every once in a while. So nice job. And so now Agent Striker, they're on top of the spaceship here, trying to get this high ground. Because again, that's what Gibraltar's all about, staging your dives from the high ground.
So right now you can see the fight on top of the spaceship, not the payload spaceship, but the spaceship at least. The big one, Maria Estrada, the spaceship is, and right now Snipes takes down Karen to start off. So that's a good thing because that's one of the sports going down. If you take down Footmoth, you've got a good chance here if you're on the side of Team Reborn. But right now, Endo making work as he takes down Spike, and taking down AWOL Killer pretty much puts the dagger.
Oh, you have a good chance until Endo comes in and destroys the rest of your team. Endo, oh my gosh, they're just such a great DPS player. They're constantly just finding those picks when they need to and picking up any sort of slack that their team is giving them. So really great job. They're going to have another dragon coming into this next fight. And Expandable, they have so many ultimates online. I'm looking for Power Gemini. They're going to be trying to pull out that blade. The key is Team Reborn needs to force Karen to use her Transcendence early. That's what needs to happen for Team Reborn.
Snipes had an infrared sight to start, but not too much getting out of it as Pyro is only able to take down, I believe that's going to be, yeah, Pyro's going to be only able to take down Kalut, but not before the res, at least. But still, you can take a look at the kill feed, and Expandables is winning this fight altogether on the back of Henry, getting 2 kills there on both the Genji and the Mercy, and the rest is pretty much history.
Expandable University did a good job of winning that team fight, but crucially, Karen used her Transcendence, which means that Team Reborn is going to have a free blade if they use it correctly. So 30 seconds, it comes down to the wire here. It's do or die time here on Gibraltar. And Power Gemini, I need to see a big blade. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to happen.
Henry C already starting off with the infrared sights. That's going to give them help. That takes down Pyro, and that's not good. Self-destruct right on top of the spaceship. Takes down Snipes and Power Gemini. So Power Gemini may not be able to use that Dragon Blade in time. Spike using the Primal Rage, but maybe off or not. Self-destruct down the middle. Dragon Strike down the middle. Nothing going there, but the self-destruct is huge from the side of Expandables University. And this may be it. You've got into overtime. You've got only AWOL and Agent left on the point. Pyro may be able to get there as well. Now you got Pyro Gemini using the Dragon Blade, but how effective is it gonna be? You've got Karen taken down as well as Snipes taking down Henry. Well, the way things are going, Endo's back, and he is biting. Takes down Power Gemini, AWOL Killer, and Pyro able to end the game. And Expandables wins this game on a Watch Win Gibraltar 3-1 in the series 1-0.
Oh my goodness, so much just happened at the end there. I mean, first, the crazy Diva Bomb from OO that took out Power Gemini and Snipes. So, Team Reborn, they weren't able to use that blade. Here comes that 4K blade from Endel. Just absolutely beautiful, taking out so many members. But again, it started with that bomb. And then, you know, we saw once Power Gemini respawned, they got back in there. They were able to use their blade because Karen had just used her Transcendence earlier. By then it was too little too late. Endel was able to find up the cleanup kills, and you know, the rest was history. So Team Gibraltar, or excuse me, Watchpoint Gibraltar going in favor of Expandable University to start off this series.
And I want to point out too, you can't give only credit to like Endel and Henry who are on the DPS mode. You take a look back at the cards from the end of the game too. You've got Footmob who was on the Mercy, by the way, 15,322 healing, 40% of the team's damage healed up by Footmob alone. I mean, that's huge if you're on the side of a support.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is a lot of healing. Really shows that supports are the quiet heroes behind teams, the backbone, if you will. And so really great stuff from Footmob. Karen was really impressing me on the Zenyatta. I felt like 9 times out of 10, they had that Transcendence ready to go for Power Gemini's blades, absolutely stopping any chance they had of getting value. So the supports for Expandable University really impressing me.
So, I mean, we're going to see if Team Reborn can come back here on Oasis now, control point. So no chance of a tie, no chance of a draw between these two teams here on Oasis. So in what you've seen so far, do you think Expandable University can take this 2-1 or 2-0 or 2-1, or do we see Team Reborn, as a play on words, get themselves reborn to tie this game up in one apiece?
Someone stop him. Someone stop him. No. Yeah, I think that Team Reborn can definitely bring this back. I think we definitely saw some really strong plays from Team Reborn. I think that really the key is just forcing out some more ultimates from Expandable University. You know, when they forced Karen to use that Transcendence towards the end of the game there, that allowed Power Gemini to use that blade in the next team fight. So it's forcing the team to get uncomfortable and use ultimates that they didn't want to use. I think that you know, compositionally they were pretty even. I think it's just getting a little more value. I think it's yeah. I think they have the right idea, they have the right game plan. It's executing it and forcing Expandable University to play outside of their comfort zone. And I totally believe that Team Reborn can bring this back.
Mm-hmm. So we move on from the island of Watchpoint Gibraltar to the Middle East in the country of Iraq, where Oasis is located. And our first game here is going to be on the Gardens. So tell us what we should be expecting here on the Gardens.
Pharah. Hands down, definitely some Pharah. I am really excited for the matchup between Endel and Power Gemini on this Pharah pick. And that's because, you know, this is a fairly open map. Lots of area for Pharah to take control of the skies. And dive is pretty popular because, again, like Gibraltar, there is some high ground that teams can utilize, especially that area in the middle can be a great opportunity for teams to stage dives from. And sometimes you see Sombra, which it looks like, I don't know if they're going to stay on that particular pick. No, they are going to go onto the Diva. So pretty standard dive compositions, but Henry and Snipes have different picks, the Tracer versus the Hanzo. So I think who gets the most value out of that pick is really going to be a decider here.
Here's the thing, can Snipes live up to his name? That's the big question here for Team Reborn. If Snipes can if Snipes can bring out the Hanzo, I think they've got a good chance at it, but the thing is, you got to hit the shots. That's the one thing about Hanzo. I mean, it's easy enough to hit your shots as a sprayer on Tracer, but Snipes really has to hit those shots. You take a look at the health bar. Some things might not be happening.
Well, you know, Snipes, they got the picks in the last map. We should expect it here, but they do fall to OO to start this off. That is a huge opening pick for Expandable University, unless it gets rezzed by AWOL, just like that.
And already you can see the trades going on here. Pyro Gemini wins the battle against Endo, but all together, it looks like Expandables is going to be able to win this. Snipes takes down Henry, and Kulit's right there to end Snipes' reign. So pretty much ExPandable University not too much trouble, but they will get the first strike on the point.
Oh, and a really nice sleep from Footmob. They almost have their nano, by the way. Really great stuff from Footmob. And good discipline by ExPandable University not to wake up a Pharah. We all know how tempting it is to wake up the sleeping heroes, but they left them asleep. They collapsed on the rest of the team that was alive and awake, got them out of the equation, and then they went back for the Pharah. Really great discipline from ExPandable University. And now they're in a great position because Footmob's got that nano, and they're coming up on that barrage pretty soon here as well.
So right now, 30% and rolling for the side of ExPandable University. And now they'll have their shot. They've got a third of the tick already, but you can see the aggressiveness coming from ExPandable. They are having none of it. Rocket Barrage coming out from Endo. Kills himself, but not before he takes down AWOL Killer. Don't know what happened there, but nonetheless, it's able to take down Spike Mecha, not moving due to maybe something. I'm not too sure what happened there, but Spike is gone by the hands of Henry, and the defense will hold for ExPandables.
Yeah, what I like about Team Reborn right now is that even though that wasn't a successful attack, we are seeing the tanks move together as one unit. The tanks are working together. What I need to see is the DPS following up where the tanks go. You know, we need to see Snipes and Power Gemini focusing whoever the tanks are working on and working as a team a little more that way. ExPandable, they're going to have a couple ultimates to try and stop this next push, but Team Reborn, with all 6 ultimates, should win this.
Primal Rage gonna come out. That takes down AWOL Killer. That snipes, so no more Dragon Strike coming here for a little while there. Big kills from the hole, as well as the kill on Power Gemini. Already a candidate for play of the game so far, and Endo will take care of the rest.
How does OO do this? Every time they take out crucial members with their bombs. Perfect placement. Really great stuff. And now it's going to be tough for Team Reborn to even get on. Oh, Snipes is able to, though.
Snipes is able to, and then will reset, changes onto the Tracer to get some proven thing out of it. So no Dragon Strike coming out for the side of Team Reborn. You've got the Rocket Barrage from Power Gemini, able to take Kalud, but at the same time, the other Winston of Spike goes down by the hands of Henry C, and this is not looking good for Reborn. This is looking like a 100-0 match at this point. Pyro has the Zenyatta coming out, but will go down by the hands of Endo. Agent able to take down Olo, so this keeps them alive for a little while more. The Lucio coming in the final seconds of overtime here, gets there in time. Endo's got the Rocket Barrage coming out, not getting anything as Spike able to put that shield up just in time, but as Spike goes down, so does the point, and ExPandables University 1-0 here on Oasis so far.
Yeah, really great stuff from ExPandable University, and I think one of the crucial things for ExPandable was Endo on the Pharah, right? I mean, their DPS on Gibraltar was great, but on Oasis, especially in Gardens right there, their Pharah was basically uncontested. No one could really do anything about them. You know, the tanks would try and move in on a target, but D.Va then is not using their Matrix to mitigate that damage from the Pharah. So, you know, they switched Power Gemini to the Soldier, I think a little too late. I think that swap needed to come out a little bit quicker so they could try and get Endel out of the equation a little bit more easily. And coming into the city center, we're going to see Endo continue to stay on that Pharah, and Snipes is on the McCree. So I think this is good for Team Reborn. They just have to get that McCree in position.
So Snipes once again taking a precision character. Last time didn't work out too well for his side for Reborn, so we'll see if it works out this time with a little more, I would say a little more faster precision character. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you know, there's strengths and weaknesses to McCree and Soldier. I think the nice thing about McCree is that you do have a little more damage in each individual shot. I think that'll help them, but OO finds them early on.
So Snipes not able to rest here because he is just going down in the hands of OO, basically taking this off tank seriously to this point where I mean, at the end of this, could be player of the game after all is said and done. You've got Pyro Rage taking out OO, as well as the Agent Striker putting him down as well. But with that res from Karen, OO's back in the game.
Wow, yeah, Karen coming up with that clutch resurrection. Really nice stuff. Now Endo on cleanup duty with the Pharah. And, you know, it looked like Team Reborn were going to get the initial percentage in this map, but now ExPandable has turned this around.
ExPandable, yeah, I mean, all together, you've got the charge on the point, 3 people on the point, and at this point, no question, ExPandable gets the first strike here on the city center.
And crucially, Endo is going to be coming up on their barrage. And look at this aggression from ExPandable. They're going right up into the spawn room.
I mean, this is amazing. You take a look at Henry. He's already got 2 kills. And, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to respond here. Spike finally takes down the reign of Henry, but how far up they were, this might be good if you're Expandables.
That might be good unless Endo comes in with that barrage. It does find AWOL, but no one else. So that might have been enough to stall out a little bit of time for ExPandable. We are going to see a res coming in from Karen as well. Really great reses all map long from Karen.
So Karen making a huge difference here, not only with the heals, but those revives coming in and really just putting ExPandables in a better position here to really win this out. And you're, again, halfway home, and ExPandables really with no contest to the point.
You know, Team Reborn, they had such a good opening right there. They took the main tank out of the equation and got another pick as well. They really need to capitalize on that and not allow these reses from Karen. That is really what's killing them right now. They're not able to capitalize the way that they want to. So coming into this Team Reborn, it's not over yet. Snipes, they're going to have that Deadeye. They need to take Endo out of the equation because they are just a monster right now on this Pharah pick. Someone's got to do something about them.
Now here's the thing, really, the Deadeye, I mean, it doesn't do too much in the front, but I mean, if you want to go in the back, then that might help out. We've got a pause in the game here for Pyro Rage on the side of Team Reborn. So, I mean, it's going to be a DC, so he should be back in, but that's not good either because you come back into the game, that's an ult lost.
Yeah, you lose so much charge there, and so much of your potential to take this point back is lost. We are going to see Pyro Rage coming back into this, which is really good to see. You hate when the DCs, cause you to forfeit the match. So we're not going to see that here. Pyro Rage, they are getting back into this. It's still not over, though. Team Reborn, they still have 4 ultimates on the board right now with AWOL's sound barrier. But they got to make them count. They got to make them big. They got to put Snipes in a position where they can get a really big Deadeye and really start using their dive composition as a team and going in as one unit. And that's really the key to victory here, I think, for Team Reborn.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, you've got those 4 ults to go, but I mean, you could say that these ults have not been generating too much, as we would say, compared to, like, say, if you were to compare this to like Endol or Owol. I mean, this could be 4 ultimates, but the difference has to be there.
Right. You have to find the value. And I think that's one thing that ExPandable has been doing pretty well is that, whenever there's an ultimate that gets thrown out there, there's usually at least 1 kill. But here comes the Diva Bomb. We'll see if it connects. Oh!
Owol finds AWOL killer to start. That's 1 support down, 1 to go. Now you've got the Deadeye. Endo able to end it, so Snipes won't find anything out of the Deadeye immediately, so that is not good. You've got the self-destruct coming. That might be a little far, and not getting anything. No one contests the point either. Agent's right next to the point, but ExPandable able to take it in a clean 200-0 here on Oasis in the series, leads 2-0.
Yeah, really great stuff from ExPandable. I would have liked to see what if that would have gone any differently if Pyro Rage hadn't DC'd. I think that Snipes, they tried to make something happen a little bit prematurely there. I think they realized that they need to do something. They need to get themselves in position, but it didn't seem like the rest of the team was with them and ready to make a distraction for them, because with that high noon, if there's nothing else going on and you use the high noon, it's really easy for the enemy to focus you down, take you out of the equation early on. So I think that Snipes, they tried to make something happen at the last minute. Didn't work out. Losing AWOL while they had sound barrier to Endo was really big as well. Or to the bomb, it wasn't to Endo. So I think that Team Reborn fell apart a little bit at the end there, but it's not over for them. They can get back into this. They're showing a lot of promise.
Mm-hmm. So we might see if we take a little bit of a break here between maps, because it looks like the teams are going to take a little bit of a break. So let's check with our producer here, and let's see if we are going to take a break here. But in the meantime, let's go back on to, if we're not taking a break, we have plenty of stuff to talk about anyways. You and I, we always have a good talk here and there.
Oh yeah.
So let's go over last week's, or let's go over not last week's, but last week's cards here. But before we do that, we have a little bit of a message for you guys for this game. In between maps 2 and 3, we always give out a big shout out to the sponsor of the Rose League, Athens Pegasus. Athens Pegasus is a team competing right here in the Rose League's Gold Platinum division and is currently still looking to fill out the rest of their sister team's roster. If you're interested in joining, DM Coffee Gamer over Discord. That's Coffee Gamer in the Rose League Discord if you want to join their team in their Gold Platinum division sister team, basically, in Athens Pegasus. It's always good to have a sponsor for leagues kind of like this that are up and going, and we hope to see Rose League in the bigger games in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Big thank you to Athens Pegasus for sponsoring this. And if anyone's watching out there and you're interested in joining their team, give Coffee Gamer a call. Try and get that set up, because playing on teams, at least personally, I find that that's much more enjoyable than trying to climb the ranked ladder. It's a lot more work in ranked, but with team play like the Rose League, you really get a chance to master how the game was meant to be played. As a team, working together on your synergies. That's the real Overwatch to me.
So let's you and I have a little bit of a talk, and we've got the chat in here as well to kind of as we are in halftime. For those of you just joining us, we welcome you to the game between Team Reborn and ExPandable University here in the Rose League regular season games. Team Reborn, ExPandable University is coming in showing some very aggressive plays, and that in turn giving them the series lead 2-0 altogether. 3-1 back on Watchpoint Gibraltar, and a clean 200-0 percentage-wise in a 2-0 win on Oasis. But let's move away from the Rose League for a little while, because I know everybody pays attention, everybody that plays Overwatch mainly pays attention to the big thing of Overwatch League, and you've got the expansion going on, and a few teams have revealed their revealed their names so far, and let's go over them. You've got the Guangzhou Charge, you've got the Paris Eternal, and then you've got Toronto coming in as well, and Atlanta. So I mean, 4 teams already, but we're excited about the other 4 that are coming up as well.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really like the lineups that we're already seeing from these teams. I think everyone's really hyped to see Atlanta Reign, because they have a very popular streamer known as DeFran, who a little bit tumultuous these days. I don't know, for those of you who are on Twitter and paying attention to that sort of thing, there was a question maybe he was trying to back out, but it looks like he's back in, which I'm personally really excited about. Obviously, mental health is super important, so DeFran's got to do what's best for him personally. But I know that as a viewer and somebody who thinks that they're really great at the game, I'm really excited to see them play. And I think that Atlanta overall has a really strong roster. So I'm excited to see them in action. On top of that, I really want to see the Charges team.
Yep.
Guangzhou. Yes, I slipped up there. Guangzhou. I'm excited to see the Charges lineup, because again, I'm a big sucker for branding and colors, and Guangzhou to me is doing it right.
So I mean, it's a great thing altogether here, and with the teams expanding, how good and how big do you think this expansion is for going from 12 teams to 18 teams? Or I'm sorry, 12 teams to, I believe it's 20 now if you're adding 8. So yeah, it's 20 teams basically.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it shows that the league is still growing, that there's still outside interest of people and organizations who are willing to get involved in this esports thing, because esports, it's relatively new, right? And it's exciting as somebody who loves watching esports to see big names pouring money into it, because it shows that they believe there's a chance of longevity in it, and it shows that it's worth investing in. So I'm really excited by that. I think the new teams are always really exciting. I personally am curious to see what the schedule is going to be like, because word on the street from, I believe, Nate Nancer is that we're going to see some games on Sunday now, which is great for the people in EU who are watching, because they're going to get a chance to actually watch those games. But what do you think? What are your thoughts on the expansion, Clutch?
I mean, I think it's great. I think it gets to a point, and you've got 20 teams so far. I think it feels like, I mean, as a sports person, as well as an esports person. You're taking a look at all things aside. This is kind of like expanding, like if it were the NFL sort of thing. You've got 12 teams, then 20 teams altogether. Now you got, I mean, it could expand to 32 teams, and now you got to talk about games on Sunday when the NFL is playing, or like basketball is playing, or all the other pro leagues are playing. And now you got esports jumping into that picture on a Sunday. I mean, that proves that esports is growing, and that this expansion is kind of mirroring that. So I think it's good altogether, and we'll see where it leads up to. I know I myself am a San Francisco Shock fan, and I'm going to get some slack for it here, but we all have our favorite teams.
As you should.
I mean, everybody has their teams. I have my own San Francisco Shock jacket in the background, in the back somewhere over here hanging. But I mean, everybody's got their teams, but I feel like a lot of teams are going to adjust to the new 8 teams. We're going to see a lot of more Overwatch League fans kind of shift on over to these other 8 teams as they see players like the Fran and all that.
Well, just to segue us in here, it looks like the next map that we're going to be seeing here today, which all of you in the chat are going to be able to watch, is again, it's Team Reborn versus ExPandable University. We're moving on to Temple of Anubis, a assault map, or 2CP as it's colloquially known as. And so we're going to have Team Reborn on the defense to start, running a pretty standard bunker composition, Power Gemini. I'm excited to see them on the Junkrat. I know people have mixed feelings on this character, but it's very strong here on Anubis.
So we're gonna see how they pull out of the door here, and you're gonna see ExPandable University. You've got Endo on the Genji this time, and Endo on that Genji on Watchpoint Gibraltar, for those that remember, was scary.
Oh, it was very
scary.
Yes, I'm fully expecting them to pop off again here. I'm expecting them to give Agent Striker quite a hard time, who that's a relatively new pick here. It looks like Snipes has actually moved on to the tank role, and Agent Striker has been subbed in here to take over for DPS. So I'm really excited to see what Agent Striker brings to the table.
Looks like one of the players is already in the background. You're going to have Endo already in the back. Nobody notices him right away, and that's how scary this can be. But Agent takes down Henry at the same time as Power Gemini taking down Kalut by the assist of Spike Mecha. So this defense looking good so far, and Endo looks like he's going to back up with the rest of the team.
Agent Striker already shown that they have some merit here in the Widow battle, finding their counterpart to start this off, and crucially, before Endo was able to get into the backline and start disrupting them a little bit. So great job by Agent Striker. Endo, they're going to be looking to get back in that background a little bit, so expect that again. But for now, Team Reborn, they're holding strong. They're going to have the sites coming up online pretty soon here, and the tires. So Team Reborn, they're in a good position.
Foot Mob gets taken down to start as Pyro able to take down that Mercy right away. So again, with no res involved, I mean, your team has to back up just a little bit, and they're going to lose about 10 seconds.
Yeah, that always slows you down, and looks like Team Reborn, they're trying to take Endo out of the equation, but they are very slippery.
They're going to try and come in here already, but Spike with that shield coming up, playing a very important role, if you will. You've already got the Valkyrie coming out for Foot Mob. This is going to allow a push. You've got the Riptire coming out from Gemini. He's going to die, but where's the Riptire? That takes down Kalut to start. But a 2-to-1 trade may not be helping them out as Endo takes down AWOL Killer. That's both supports down, AWOL and Pyro, so it looks like if this stays up, the rest of the team's going to fall. Spike using that shield to stay alive as long as possible, as well as the armor, but the way things are going with no support either, Spike might go down.
And, this is where spawn advantage really comes in clutch. We already see Kalut jumping on the point, taking out Spike Mecha. So now ExPandable University, they're going to take this, and if anybody from Team Reborn is trying to get back on this point, they might be feeding.
And Power Gemini will go back on that point, so he may have thought about it the last second. I don't know if he heard you or not, but if Gemini comes back and says, "Hey, who casted, and who said that guy was going to be a feeder?" That's Sark. That's not me. But
sorry.
5 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock is what they banked. They'll get to the second point.
So now ExPandable University, they're in a great position to snowball this, right? You have 5 ultimates online, a couple being used right at the start. Here comes Endo with the blade.
Endo with the blade to start. Agent takes down, so might have stolen the kill a little bit there. But Endo able to take down Power Gemini and AWOL Killer. So Endo basically has 3 kills so far on that blade, and already the aggressiveness on the second point, you can tell ExPandable's wants it and they want it bad. Self-destruct comes in and nothing doing there. The Transcendence stays alive as well. And I mean, as it might as well be a good push at this point. You've got at least a tick here to start if AWOL goes down.
AWOL falling right as you said that, and now I like this aggression from ExPandable. They're getting right up into that spawn room, and there you go. They were able to take that third tick, and with a fairly large time bank as well.
Here's the thing. You've got 4 minutes to start at this, and usually in competitive mode, you see teams drop below 4 minutes. How about an additional 28 seconds with 4:28? How much does that speak to you about how this team from ExPandables just pushed that point?
Yeah, it shows that they have a very strong attack here on Anubis. And part of that is, I don't want to harp on it too much. And feeding was too strong a word. I apologize, Power Gemini. But that is the fear, right? When you try and stall out that point a little bit longer, you do end up dying. That gives a chance for ExPandable to approach that point before you've had a chance to respawn, and that's pretty much what happened there. Power Gemini, they basically were respawning and had just gotten to the point right as Endo was pulling out that blade. That's not enough time for you to set up with your team and know how you're going to defend that objective. So, feeding, it was too strong a term, but honestly, it does screw up your game plan a little bit. And I think that's what we saw there. And so now, ExPandable, they have that large time bank. They're going to be defending here with a very similar composition to what we saw, except I think Footmob, instead of going Ana, they have elected to go with the Mercy pick. So I think that's strong here. You have that res potential, but yeah, ExPandable University, they're in a good position right now.
Team Reborn's gonna go with the Goats comp if it. Or no, I'm sorry, because Pyro.
You spoke too soon.
You cannot tell what they're going to pick until that door opens. For us, for our side at least, they're gonna fool around, whatever. They've got the Symmetra, but then Pyro changes on over to the Ana. So now we've got the Goats comp coming in, and a little bit of a different story than ExPandable had this on their attack mode. Team Reborn's gonna charge right into the upstairs mode.
Yeah, they're going upstairs, trying to take that high ground initially and try and keep Endel from getting too much ultimate charge. That's the real fear. You got to get this point or win the team fight before Endel can get that tire, and they're going to get it quickly because projectile heroes are so strong against Goats compositions that are so beefy and tanky.
Already jumping on the point. That's the entire team there. They might get the first stick without nobody contesting it, and they will get the first stick. So that's a good start if you're on the side of Reborn. And again, everybody's sticking upstairs. Nobody's going to try to contest this point. There's two tanks there. You have them available. Khalid finally jumps onto the point, and so will the rest of the team, but he's all alone. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know about this strategy. Almost going to get D-Max so far, and this Ghost comp might be working for Reborn.
Yeah, this is working great, and they executed it perfectly, right? They took that space, did not allow Team Reborn to get on, and so at the last second here, we see OO actually getting a remech kill onto AWOL. Hardly ever see that, but here you go, ExPandable, they've brought this back, so, they gave up a lot of percentage, but that sometimes goes to show you that can be okay as long as you can end up winning the team fight.
That self-destruct is going to find Endo, so that's a start. Is the res there? Yes, it will be there. Endo's got a chance to keep this there. You've got the Graviton Surge. You've got the Riptire coming in. That finds Power Gemini and an AWOL killer able to keep alive Khalid. And I believe that was Karen in there as well. And now, but this time the rest of the team falls, and Reborn has an addition. 5 minutes and 15 seconds for ExPandables to get their second point. This time, Team Reborn's got 6 minutes.
Whew, we talked about time banks going over that 4-minute mark. Look at that, 6 minutes for Team Reborn. They're going to be coming into this, but they use a lot of their ultimate. So that snowball potential that you sometimes see with this Ghost composition has really been mitigated because they had to use so many just to take that point. But that's not going to matter to Reborn. They're going to smash onto this point with this composition anyways.
Self-destruct, Gray may want to start, but doesn't find anybody. Great shield by Spike, but it's not going to protect Snipe. That Earth Shatter is going to come in the background from Khalid. Not going to find anybody, but does get at least the assist on the kill to Spike Meko. And it's going to get back and back. They're going to keep fighting this. Endo might go down here as well, taking the Doomfist up instead. But here comes Henry with the Mei, taking down 2 kills in the last 3 as well as a D-Max. So, and now Henry getting 3 of the last 4 kills altogether. So this Mei coming up big for the side of ExPandable.
Yeah, ExPandable, I like this composition because it's kind of creative. You don't often see it, and they're picks that teams can really struggle with, right? Sometimes teams are not able to shut down really good Doomfists. Maze can cause a lot of trouble for teams that maybe haven't practiced a lot against them. So I think these are smart picks. Henry, they already have that Blizzard online for this next team fight. So potentially this could be shut down before it begins unless Team Reborn can get them out of the equation at the start.
So let's take a look already, and you can see the Goldscom going into the side this time, and they haven't stuck on it. They haven't gone off of it yet because they believe that it still works, but at this point, you've got a Doomfist, you've got a Mei at the same time. I mean, how well does this Mei and the Doomfist work against this comp?
Yeah, well, you already saw that Mei wall separating half the team from the rest of them, so it's working out really well. And here we go, we see it again. Zarya and Lucio have been separated.
And that's huge to start. You've got the sound barrier dropping. That might be big. You've got to grab that search. Kalut and Ovo in there as well. Blizzard self-destruct as well. Who finds the better one? It looks like this Blizzard's going to get the kill on AWOL, and that's enough to really win this fight, as you've got Snipes going in, but really not going to get anything out of it unless he has the self-destruct, which he does not. So Snipes is going to get set. Oh, they're not going to kill him. Snipes is going to get set way back.
Oh, that hurts you. But, you know, I want to talk a little bit more about this Mei wall combination because, you know, with that Mei wall and the Doomfist, as we all know, Doomfist does a lot more damage when their punch hits somebody and then they hit a wall, right? And so if you constantly are putting up new walls for Doomfist to hit enemies against, they're going to be suffering a lot more damage. So I really like these picks coming out from ExPandable, and they're using it again right now.
Separating Spike out of the pack, that is huge. And you got a huge Earth Shatter as well, coming from Kalut. That may be the entire team going down with 3 people inside of it. Kalut gets credit here. And again, that might be a play of the game scenario right there.
Woo-hoo. I love it when Ryan's get massive shatters. Beautiful stuff. Henry does fall there to Pyro, but it likely won't matter too much. They're going to be able to regroup here. And so, Team Reborn, in order to get back into this, you got to wonder, do you change up the Ghost composition? Is this really working to their advantage here? They're going to maybe have one more chance to try this again. They're going to have Spike Mecha with that Shatter, and they can start off with a rally, as we're going to see from Agent Striker, but we'll see how this works out.
Self-destruct comes down in the background, not getting anything there for Olo, but you got the sleep on Snipes as well as the freeze, so Snipes just cannot find any look altogether no matter what he plays today against this team from ExPandable. So you got the Transcendence coming in from Karen. That's going to help out a little bit as Kalut and Endo both get themselves kills, and this may be over before you know it. And the daggers there, they will back up altogether. Gemini won't get away either. And this is looking to all again. Snipes gets back into mech, but it's not going to do much, and Snipes set back even further.
Oh, yep. Again, that hurts you if you're Snipes. But I just want to talk a little bit more about Khaled, because not only were they finding a lot of picks there, they were lighting up the kill feed, but they also had a really crucial block Shatter. So really nice job from Khaled. They're getting a little bit aggressive now. They are going to fall to Spike Mecha. This could be an opening for Team Reborn.
Earth Shatter comes in, not finding, or maybe finds one, but that might be about it. You've got the Nano Boost now on Olo, who's going to get kept alive. But at this point, you've got the first take here for Team Reborn, so this is a chance at opening here. Self-destruct may be far away. You've got, and finds AWOL though, but the Earth Shatter finds 3 as well. So this may be the push that you want, but again, that spawn room is just too close to call. Self-destruct as well. Great AWOL in front. That blocks any damage from the self-destruct. Big play by Henry on this main. That may give them the advantage. Spike Mecha finds Kalut to start as well. You've got the Doomfist finding the wall, but it does find Spike to start as well. These maze walls coming in handy right now if you're on the side of ExPandable. And altogether, a little bit of a push and shove for 40 seconds left to go. This might be the last fight.
Yeah, the last fight indeed, and then Maywall doing so much work, and the May pick in general just doing so well to stall out these points, make things really difficult for Team Reborn. And now there's only 30 seconds left. We're going to see a soft reset from Team Reborn. They're going to get back into this, and they have a couple ultimates to work with, the Shatter, but here comes the Diva Bomb.
Another self-destruct. Olo finds another double on Pyro and Agent this time. So he has had a double through all 3 maps so far. Footmon finds Spike Mecha on the Coalescence, and this spells trouble. 10 seconds left Can anyone get there? The only one left here is Snipes, who's going to find his way to the point. It forces overtime, but with 1 second left, but with overtime and 2 people falling to Endel, this does not look good. ExPandables has a good chance. Overtime clock will run, and overtime clock will go and end 3-0 in the series as ExPandable wins here on Temple of Anubis, 2-1.
Wow, really great stuff from ExPandable University. Team Reborn, they had a couple openings, but honestly, I do think that they stayed on that GOATS composition just a little too long. I think they need to make some switches to deal with the May and the Doomfist a little bit better, because the GOATS, it wasn't really working for them. But ultimately, ExPandable, they just played out of their minds. I mean, what can you do when OO is just getting these massive 2-people bombs every freaking map? I mean, it's insane. So really great job from ExPandable University. They had a very strong showing here on Temple of Anubis. And do we play a 4th map, or is that...
I believe we do. It is a 4-map set, so the last map here to play, because, I mean, we're looking in the chat right now. Usually you can tell when a game's over when everybody put GGs in there, so we will play map number 4. Going to Hollywood now, so we've been all over. We've been on an island. We've been to Egypt. We've been to Iraq. Now we go back to hometown US here in Hollywood, but I want to point out something here as well, because OO has been pretty much on every card so far. Pretty much on every card so far in this game. You take a look at last game back on Oasis, 26 eliminations for a 62% kill participation on that Diva. And I mean, that's huge. Then you go back here to the last map on Temple of Anubis, 20 objective kills, and that's huge for when you're defending, as well as, I mean, defending altogether here as well. So, I mean, you've got 30 total eliminations, 20 of which were on the point. And you take a look at the supports as well. Mercy's lining up on all 3 cards as well, but depending on who it is between Karen and Footmob. Karen lining up on the last map of Anubis with a 25 defensive assist on 60% kill participation. And then you go back to the last map and Footmob this time on the Mercy. 14,900 healing done for 40% of the team damage taken. I mean, so if you can get OO on the card as well as either Footmob or Karen on those cards as well, ExPandables looks good.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's continually impressing me about ExPandable, right? Is that sure, you have Endel and Kalut making those flashy plays, but again, it is Footmob and Karen who are really the backbone, and OO, of course, with those bombs, they're really just the backbone. They're just really just solid the whole game long. They're doing their job. They might be a little bit silent. You might not always be recognizing them, but they're enabling their team to make the big plays, and so really they're the big heroes for ExPandable as they move through these maps.
So score right now between these two teams, ExPandables University in the lead 3-0 to as we go into our final map of Hollywood. So really, you take a look at these teams. By the way, let's go on a little bit of a lighter note here, because when we first entered Hollywood, that music, as an orchestra all together, that music makes my heart kind of lift a little bit. But everyone has their own favorite map intro music. Which one's yours, Mr. Sark?
Map intro music?
Yeah, map intro music. Hollywood. Da 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 da. Right? You have that beautiful Hollywood intro music.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Clutch. I have never noticed it.
Really?
At least not enough to notice the distinction between them. Yeah,
go turn that music volume up a little bit more. You'll see the distinction. Like Junkertown, you've got that big instrument.
Oh, okay. I got one for you then.
There you go. Yeah.
Route 66. That's my favorite. I know what you're talking about now. The whole the like slide guitar thing.
There you go.
I like that. I know what you're talking about now. It took me a second, but yeah, got to be Route 66. What about you, Clutch?
Again, Hollywood's got to be my favorite. Junkertown might be a close second with the didgeridoo, right? With the exciting hype music going up there with that. But we're in the game here, ExPandables University. Last chance to get the sweep. Team Reborn's last chance to avoid the sweep here. And let's take a look at their team con so far as they get out of the gate. Snipes already starting off with a kill on Footmob.
Yeah, so Team Reborn, they're running a pretty much a ground and pound composition. Power Gemini on the Hanzo. Snipes, who just got taken out by Henry, was playing the Sombra. But ExPandable, they're running this Goats composition that we saw Team Reborn try and use on Temple of Anubis. So we'll see if ExPandable University can utilize this composition to their advantage this time around.
Already playing very aggressively here. They've got themselves a little bit of, I mean, not too much of the point. They contested it a little bit here. But you take a look at the background, you've got 4 players altogether. That's Endo, Karen, Henry as well. You're going to get the DMAC from Owls, so that's a good start. And no chance of Owls double kill precedence on the point so far. But I think Owl would like it if you got maybe a quad 5 or 6.
We'll see if they're able to do that. The Hanzo Dragon already coming out from Gemini, but they do fall to Endo. This is a big opening for ExPandable.
Good start as Endo gets kills on Agent, as well as one other person. Didn't see who that was in the feed. Henry able to take down AWOL as well. Endo took down Power Gemini, and they've already got 2 ticks to start, and nobody else is going to contest. So ExPandable's able to take this within the first 90 seconds, and they will have 5 minutes rather to take this to the second point.
ExPandable University does a really good job of these soft resets, right? Where you might lose 1 or 2 people and you immediately recognize that the team fight's over and then you back up and regroup with them. But I'm a little confused because Pyro Rage just used their Transcendence, which I think must have been a fat finger or a misplay of some sort, because now they're not going to have that defensive ultimate as ExPandable. They're going to be charging on into this and they almost have a Graviton.
And so, yeah, you can take a look at the charge here. Agent's already going to have a Graviton. Henry building up to that as well, but this payload moving up for ExPandable's really having no trouble. So it may come down to the Graviton search. It also may come down to that Earth Shatter. That was huge to get down 3 people, but able to bring in the Transcendence in time before anything bad happens. Footmob is right there. So the Earth Shatter really all for naught from Spike.
Wow. And here comes that grab. This is a chance. Here comes the dragon, but it only finds Endo. Oh, I spoke too soon. It found Henry as well. So good stuff. That's going to allow Team Reborn to stabilize.
So it's the DPS duel of Snipes and Power Gemini, able to get 4 kills altogether, 2 with the Dragon Strike and 2 on their own. But that Graviton Surge may have helped altogether, and now you've got 4 players on fire, which is a good start if you're Reborn.
Great start, and especially considering that Footmob and Karen both use their support ultimates in that last team fight, which means that really ExPandable don't have anything else for this next team fight. And Snipes, they have an EMP.
Self-destruct coming down as well. No MP used. However, Owol again finds a kill on Agent. And now you've got an EMP coming out from Snipes. That's, I believe, 4 people going down, or 3 people inside that EMP. Able to take down 2 so far as Endo and Kalut both go down. So both your shields are down. And that forces back ExPandable. So the Wild West Town Reborn finding their way to defend this point.
I love the way Team Reborn are comboing their ultimates, right? First we saw the Grav Dragon, which we all know and all love, maybe. But the other combo, that EMP Shatter, was really crucial. And those are the sort of combinations that Team Reborn have to be coming up with in order to be taking these maps. And we'll see if they continue to do so.
Earth Shatter finds Agent, and that's going to find Agent and Spike will go down. That's the main tank down, which is big, as Endo also finds Pyro Rage. And so Endo's been scary all game. But I mean, let's go. And again, you love to play with good people. You love to play with good people. You hate to play against them.
Absolutely, Endo, as they're going farther up, finding that last pick onto Agent there. And so this card is going to keep on moving. ExPandable, they're in a good position because Henry, they're going to have a Graviton. If they use this a bit early on, they might be able to snowball this and capture that second checkpoint early on.
Snipes is the only one there in the background, is invisible, but I think they might just let this point go. And no, Snipes is going to contest it right out. Tries to find Footmob, doesn't hack, or maybe has hacked him a little bit there, but Footmob able to take down Spike. So that's a huge kill. And now you've got a 4-on-4 going right on the middle of this point. Henry able to find Power Gemini there, and Henry's got some charge going. If you take a look at it, has pretty much 78 charge. Both. Wait, did they just kill each other? I believe they just did. Yes, they traded. That's something you rarely see. But on the bombs on each other, trade kills, and the point will stop just a little bit there.
Wow, Team Reborn, they pulled this out in the nick of time. And, you know, ExPandable, they tried to open it up with that Graviton from Henry, which I thought they would do, but they didn't find enough people in it. They didn't get the kills that they were looking for. And so Team Reborn, because of that spawn advantage, were able to get right back into this. And now, look at the ultimate economy that they have here. They have 5 ultimates in the bank, so they're going to be good to go here. ExPandable, they got to really work for it this next point in order to try and win this team fight. And it's going to be tough.
Endo uses the rally as well. I think leaves Footmob out of it. That's a good one, but you've also got the Transcendence that's there, but finds Endo as he's knocked out of the Graviton Surge rather. So good start, but ExPandable's able to take advantage of 2 ults being used. Pyro, Spike. No, Spike won't save it. He'll use it. Takes down Henry, but not before Kalut is there to take down Spike. So the Transcendence from Pyro not coming in. Self-destruct comes in, not finding anybody there either, but this should be enough to push it to point 2, which they will. So 1:52 on the clock to push it all the way up to the VIP spot.
Wow, amazing ultimate absorption coming out from ExPandable University. I mean, you just saw that there were 5 ultimates online for Team Reborn, and they absorbed basically every one of them. You know, Snipes, they're still holding on to this EMP. This could be an opening for them, but ExPandable, by winning that team fight and capturing that second objective, they're looking really strong here. They're going to have another Graviton from Henry, and Karen's sound barrier to use as a sort of reaction to the EMP from Snipes. So as long as Karen's able to stay out of the EMP, they're in a good position to keep on moving forward.
And here's the thing too, I mean, you've got some ults to use. You've got the Nano Boost as well as that EMP from Snipes, but really, if you're AWOL, who are you throwing this on?
If you're AWOL, I think you look to give it to Spike Mecha. Maybe wait for that Graviton Surge to come online from Striker, and then you can just combo the nanoed Reinhardt swinging into the Graviton Surge. I think that's the game plan. But, you know, I think there are a lot of different things you could do. You could also give it to the Hanzo as well. But we'll see what they decide to go with. I'm just the caster. I'm not playing.
That's true. We're not in their voice comms, so we have no idea what they're thinking at the time. Graviton Surge, that's got 3 people in there, and that's going to be huge. Even with the biotic grenade coming out, Spike might go down as well. Kalut and Henry together showing off. There's the Nano Boost going onto Spike. The Earth Shatter may not be used, but Henry is slept, and that Nano Boost may have been off or not. Maybe to save Spike a little bit, but Spike goes down, and this payload will have no trouble as we enter final fight, basically.
Yeah, I think if you're AWOL, you're going to wish you had that back, but here comes a Shatter from Kalu.
Good Shatter to start. That's going to stall them out just a little bit. And now we're going into the final, which should be 15 meters here. You've got the EMP, basically gets 4 people, but not getting that sound barrier from Karen. That Earth Shatter gets 3 people, but no follow-up either. And so now the self-destruct comes out. That's going to be from Olo, not finding anything there. Gets back into back. And really, this is looking like ExPandables could get all 3, and they will get all 3 with Athena calling the team kill at the last second. So Reborn's going to have to find a way to tie this up because ExPandables just pushed this in overtime.
And I just want to point out that was some really amazing awareness from Karen. She made sure that she wasn't inside of that EMP so that they could use the sound barrier right at the crucial and correct time to keep their team alive, to push that payload through to the last checkpoint. So Karen had amazing game sense to know that EMP was going to be coming out, and really that's what helped them to secure that final checkpoint. Ultimately, though, I think Team Reborn, we saw some life there, especially in the streets phase. Right, they looked very strong at points, so they definitely have some potential to bring this forward. I think only allowing ExPandable to capture that 3rd checkpoint in overtime could be really huge for them as well. That means that if Team Reborn are able to capture all 3 checkpoints with time left on the clock, I believe they only have to get 1 tick on the objective, and then they win the map.
And here's the thing, too. You're taking a look at a very aggressive ExPandables team that's going to bring out the Ghost Comp one more time. And the way this worked out, Reborn had their highlights, but in the case of a 3-0, you gotta think that ExPandables had more highlights than Reborn, but the way that went, that was pretty close if you think about it.
It was very close. Yeah, I think that the scoreline is not doing justice to how close this is. I think that You know, Team Reborn, they have this chance to come back in. They're running this ghost composition that we saw them run. Look at where ExPandable are. They're hiding in this little hotel area, and they could surprise them right as they go past the choke.
Which they will, because everybody passes by and nobody sees them right behind. You got Spike, who finds one, though. Henry goes down by the hands of Spike on the charge, as well as Spike swinging the way on Karen so far. So a 6-3 trade, and Spike is finding everyone right now. So this is good for Reborn here. Their first shine of light, as this is the first time they get a push in their favor. I take that back. Their first push in their favor. They've got 6 on the clock.
Wow, great job by Team Reborn to not get caught out by that sneaky play from ExPandable. You know, it's always a risk when you do that sort of thing. It's always those, you know, those areas where if it works, it's great. If it doesn't, it's really bad. And so ExPandable able to capture that with 5 minutes and 30 seconds now on the clock for them to push through the streets phase, and they're looking good. ExPandable, they've made some swaps, right? Endel is now on. So they're looking to deal a lot of damage, get that ultimate quickly as they send these rockets into the Scout's composition.
5 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock here for the team from Team Reborn to get this through the Wild West town of Hollywood right now. And I mean, the payload pushed up pretty far to maybe around that last turn. Now the Earth Shatter comes in. That's 3 people with it for Kalut, and this is huge because Henry takes down Snipe as well as Endo on Pyro, and the rest will back up or fall. So Kalut coming in big with that Earth Shatter for the team of ExPandables.
Oh, Kalut, you're making me smile with these shatters, I gotta say. Really coming up huge here for ExPandable University. Exactly what they needed to slow down Team Reborn's attack. And Team Reborn, they're going to be coming into this, though, with quite a few ultimates. Another chance to win this team fight, but keep your eyes on Endel. They're coming up with that barrage, and Henry almost has that Graviton.
Self-destruct from OWO finds another kill on AWOL Killer. I mean, what are we to expect at this point? OWO's got to find somebody on that self-destruct sooner or later. And now you're going to have a nano boost from Footmob already. And again, look how far back this team from Reborn is. They do not want to push up any further because they're all stuck in that room. Who's going to take advantage of it, though, is the question. Graviton search. And now you've got the self-destruct in the background. That finds Henry. And this is looking good for the side of... this is looking very good for the side of Reborn. Somebody's got to get to the point because you got to move this.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of this real quick. Really great awareness of from Power Gemini to know that that was the exact time to use that Graviton Surge. A nice little Diva Bomb. Excuse me, not Diva Bomb, but a nice little play there from Reborn. So now they're going to continue pushing this, but again, ExPandable. They have the Graviton. They have the Barrage. We could see it coming out real soon here.
We'll see where it goes. You've got the Earth Shatter. That's 3 people going down. Now you've got the Rocket Barrage from Endo. That's got Pyro. That's got AWOL. And the rest will fall as well. Endo takes down Agent Striker's mech. And that is going to be it for the side of Team Reborn. I don't know if that was everybody. No, Athena won't call team kill, so that wasn't everybody. But it may as well have been.
Wow, yeah, really great job there from ExPandable. Except Henry had their Graviton eaten by Agent Striker. You know, I heard the call out from Zarya, and there was nothing to show for it, but look at this aggression from ExPandable.
They're playing very aggressive on the side. OWO gets another kill on Spike Mecha. I mean, we're going to have to go back and pretty much count all the self-destruct kills OWO's got because he's pretty much had at least 5 every game if we're counting here. But, I mean, you take a look at the aggressiveness. ExPandable's pretty much up to the spawn. Yeah,
really, I love this aggression from ExPandable, right? Because even if they lose this team fight, it's going to take Reborn to a little bit of time in order to get back to the payload. So they're going to have a chance, even if they lose this team fight so pushed up. They're going to have a chance to get back into this. But you know, Reborn, it's going to be Battle of the Shatters right now, and here comes the first.
First Shatter comes in. That takes down 2 people. That's going to be both the Zarya and the Diva of Power Gemini and Agent Striker. Now you've got the other Earth Shatter from Spike Mecha. Gets pushed away. So no Earth Shatter coming for Spike either. So Transcendence doesn't help. Or, well, I mean, I take that back. Pyro brings out the Transcendence to heal of his team as long as possible. Self-destruct finds no one this time for OWO. And so, but either way, I take my words back for a second because Reborn's got themselves a chance. But the way things are looking, it looks like just a push and shove at this point. Unless you have the ults coming in, you've got 4 people on the point pushing it. Graviton Surge all over that payload. And not much coming out of it either. You've got the self-destruct coming in. You've got their Shatter being used. Only takes down that Lucio from AWOL Killer. And really a little bit of a push and shove. Earth Shatter comes in as well. Did Spike get an Earth Shatter? No, he did get the Earth Shatter off. And Henry, Power Gemini able to take down Henry. Push and shove at this point. There's too much going on.
Yeah, this is so back and forth. Just shows how strong these two teams are, really duking it out here. But ultimately, with this spawn advantage from ExPandable, they're going to be able to get back into this and ultimately end up winning this team fight unless we can see Reborn getting back here quickly.
And right now, you're taking a look at it. You've got the you've got the entire team playing aggressively up on this payload. But here comes Spike and Power Gemini taking down the kills. That's a big kill on Endo. Karen's got to choose if they have that res. But Karen's going to stick back here knowing that they might die in the end of it. You've got the Graviton Surge coming in. Question is the follow-up on the damage there. Really nothing. The Biota Grenade and the Nano Boost helping out from the side of Footmob. As Agent takes down Kalut. And again, the two of the tanks coming in with this Ghost Comp of Team Reborn. Coming in and they've got everything going for them on Team Reborn side. And this is the push that they need. 20 seconds on the clock and they will have the second point.
Wow, Team Reborn, it happened at the last second, but they got there. They pushed it to that second objective, and now I like this aggression from Reborn. They're trying to capitalize on the bad spawns that ExPandable had.
You got 4 ults on the side of the Team Reborn, 3 on the side, building a 4th one from Kalut. Last time, both of these Reinhardts had their Earth Shatters at the same time. Both of them pretty much didn't get any use out of it. Maybe only one person at that, but really just a denial all around. And now we'll see if both of them come together. You got the Earth Shatter, great Earth Shatter coming out, but almost still finds AWOL Killer. AWOL Killer's got to be a little bit angry about it. That's the 3rd time he's died to the self-destruct in this map alone. So AWOL Killer really not having any luck with AWOL self-destruct, but still the push is there. You've got the Graviton Surge, you've got the Rocket Rush from Endo protected. Finds Snipes and Power Gemini, but Spike Mecha able to take it down to the last second. Still a push and shove at this point altogether.
Yeah, Team Reborn, they have a little bit of a spawn advantage here. They're going to be able to get these respawns back in from Endo's their kills, but Endo's switching over to the Doomfist now. It's going to give them a little more burst damage here, a little more of a surprise factor as well. So ExPandable, they need to regroup right now. They need to move back because people are dropping.
Last 20 meters, which means this payload is in the home stretch here between these two teams. You've got the Earth Shatter coming in, blocked out by Spike Mecha. That's huge to start off, and Spike's going to have Graviton Surge Rider. Self-destruct comes in down in the background. That's going to find at least one on Henry, and that is a good start for them. That's the off tank coming in. You may have a tie here for the first time as this payload moves forward. Somebody's got to jump on there, and they will find their way onto the point. You've got the Transcendence coming out from Pyro, and that's going to help out a little bit. Earth Shatter comes in, not finding anybody there from Spike, so that shows no reason, but still the payload could continue to move. You've got a great pin on Henry. Henry might go down here with no more bubble on him. And no, actually, Henry might stay alive here. Spike and all the rest of the team falls. And Reborn finds themselves the first tie of the series. We will go to round number 2 with both teams with no time on the clock. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Both sides get an additional minute on the clock to do whatever they can. And both sides will get another attack.
This is exciting stuff. And what I like is that Team Reborn, sure, they could have swapped off the Ghost composition, but they said, no, we're going to be stubborn. We're going to force ExPandable University to play our game. And that's really, I think, what ended up winning them this match is that, Endo, they were getting some picks off of the Pharah, but it wasn't getting the value they wanted. They had to switch onto that Doomfist pick, which I don't think was ideal for them. I don't think they actually wanted to do that. But Team Reborn, they forced them into a position where they were still winning these team fights with this Ghost composition. And ultimately, that was really working. So Team Reborn, really great stuff to tie up this series. And they're going to be on the defense to start this off. And they're showing us something very similar to what they ran before. On their defense, they're going to have Power Gemini back on those snipes on the Sombra. So I think this is going to be a chance for Team Reborn to show us just what strengths this composition has, because I think that it crumbled a little earlier than they were expecting the last time around, but they clearly think this is a strong composition. So I'm excited to see what they can run here. ExPandable, though, they're going to be running that Goats composition again. Footmob, though, on the Ana, that's really crucial. If they can hit some big nades, anti-grenades, that could be really huge for them.
Snipes back in the Somber. You've got Gemini on the Hanzo, like you said, so this is going to be interesting. Goats versus the standard 2-2-2 all together. And already you can see the contesting point here between these two teams. You've got ExPandable's putting up 3 on the board, while Team Reborn only had 1, but really still a good fight. I'm rather switch that back, rather 4 on the point for Reborn, 2 on the point for ExPandable. But you've got Karen and Owo getting the starting picks, and that is a good thing for ExPandables. Only a minute on the clock, really. You've got to find some way to push through. And it looks like ExPandables is going to be able to find a win here on the point. So the question is anybody going to be able to get back from Reborn in time? I don't think so. They may just let this one go.
Yeah, I think at this point you just let it go. You regroup as a team and you get back into this in the next fight, because it is overtime. You just have to win one more team fight to stop this cart from moving. So, I think I want to give out a shout out to Henry, because their bubble came in really clutch. There was a hack onto the Reinhardt in that last battle, and they were able to bubble their Reinhardt, keep them alive. So really nice job from the off tank. But here we go. This fight is breaking out on the payload.
And it's already, again, it starts off on the payload. Everybody gets knocked off, so the overtime clock runs a little bit. But again, as it progresses on, that overtime clock gets quicker and quicker to get to 0. But right now, you got the Earth Shatter. That's huge for Spike. That's got 3 people in it, as well as the Graviton Turk. Everybody goes down. The overtime clock runs, and a good ending for the team of Team Reborn. They've got a chance. 1 minute. Take the point and a little bit on that payload, courtesy of a big Earth Shatter from Spike.
The old classic, throw all my ultimates onto the payload and see what sticks. It worked out there perfectly, and that's exactly what you just need to do in those situations. You just throw everything at it and hope that they all pull through, and that's what happened. We saw the Shatter, we saw the Grab, we saw the Dragon as well. So nice job from Team Reborn to prevent any more movement of the cart. They're going to have a chance to push it themselves this time around, and ExPandable on the defense. I'm really excited to see what they decide to run, because we know that their hero pools are pretty large, pretty expanded, if you will. So I'm excited to see. It looks like Endel's back on the Pharah. Henry is on the McCree, which is interesting to me. And no, they are going to switch to the Zarya. So triple tank, double main support, and 1 Pharah. I think that this could potentially be strong. I think since there's only a minute here, beefier tanks are going to allow you to sustain a little bit longer, especially with the double main healer. So I don't hate this. I don't think this is that bad, especially since Karen's going to be basically pocketing Endel on that combination. And we know that Endel's very good on those projectile heroes. So I think this is fine. I think this is good. Team Reborn, they're coming into this with this Ghost composition. And with Endel on the Pharah, that could spell trouble. But we know that Team Reborn can continue running Goats into the Pharah anyways. So we'll see what happens.
You got 30 seconds left on the clock already. You can see the aggressiveness trying to play out for Team Reborn, but Endel on the Pharah takes down Snipes to start, as well as a DMEC. And again, with 30 seconds left, you could be in 2-fight territory here, but you gotta back up, because this isn't looking good.
Yeah, at this point, Team Reborn, you need to back up, collect your tanks, get that front line back in action here, and crucially, ExPandable. Endel is coming up on the barrage, and Kalut is going to have a Shatter. So Spike Mecha, they need to come up clutch. They need to block this Shatter coming out from Kalut.
And it won't happen as 2 of them go down at least. And now you've got the Rocket Barrage coming in from Endel. That finds AWOL. That finds Agent as well. And that's 4 kills altogether on the trade to 1. 1 person left on this point is Power Gemini. He's going to get killed. Overtime clock will run. And a team kill from Athena all but seals it. Puts the nail on the coffin. ExPandables University wins the series 4-0.
Wow, what a series. ExPandable University definitely looking very strong. But especially on Hollywood, you did see that these two teams, they can still be pretty evenly matched. The scoreline definitely doesn't reflect that these two teams were definitely vying it out here, really putting their skills to the test. So great series. It was a lot of fun to watch, and a nice little play of the game there from Power Gemini. Definitely deserved it there. But yeah, overall, lots of really strong plays. It's hard to pick out who's my player of the match. I got to be honest with you, Clutch.
I mean, we'll let's talk about this for a little while here, because you take a look There is no fifth map, by the way, so it will end in a 4-0 game overall. But I know some people, think we don't have a post game. We don't have that. But let's talk about let's talk about our player of the game here. Now I know I've been watching Twitch chat for a little while here, and everybody loves to talk about Spike or everybody else in this chat, but this was a little closer than the 4-0 shows, because Reborn coming in that last map showed some light, as well as in the other ones. Just says ExPandable comes in with a little better game, but now you're thinking, who is your player of the game altogether? And no bias here, Mr. Sark here, because I know Kalut's on your list here, but let's go overall player of the game between these two teams right here. Who would you say is your match player of the game?
Well, you know me well, Clutch. I do love to give MVP to the Reinhardts, the main tanks, but for me, actually, in this series, it comes down to either Endel or Karen. Endel, because they were just consistently a major DPS threat. They always got the kills when they needed it, and more often than not, found great value out of their ultimates. Karen also had a good value out of their ultimates, but it was the game sense, it was the game awareness to know when they need to be just outside of the team fight to come in with their defensive ultimate to save the day. It's such a hard decision. I think I'm going to go with Endel, the DPS for ExPandable University. Again, just because they were so consistent, they were making really big plays. They were a lot of fun to watch, but Karen was a very close second. She played really well this game as well.
Mm-hmm. So,
what about you, Clutch?
Endel and Karen getting your players of the game there. I'm going to give it to 2 as well. And let's not forget here that there were 4 maps. Go back to Hollywood. I mean, Henry had a good map there with the snipers and all. I'm going to give it to, I think you forgot one person that pretty much caught the eye every single time they threw out their self-destruct. And Olo comes in, pretty much gets, I believe it was a double kill on every map except for Hollywood. But still, Hollywood comes out with a few self-destructs here and there. I'll give if we're doing 2 players of the game here, I'll give my first to Olo there, because, yeah, I mean, overall, Olo was a great diva. Go back to, I believe it was Temple of Anubis. You go and Oasis, rather, both getting cards there for Olo. Take a look back. Oasis has 26 eliminations on 62% kill participation, and 20 objective kills and 30 eliminations out of 30 eliminations back on Temple of Anubis. So Olo getting my vote for one of the players of the game. Now, let's not be too biased on ExPandable Universities. Let's go to Team Reborn for a second. And they had a few plays here and there. If I'm gonna give one on the side of Reborn as well, I'm gonna give one to Spike. Fan favorite, apparently, Spike, but for a reason, because Spike comes in, has a few good Earth Shatters, has a few highlights himself, and that's what I think I would give the Player of the Game award to Team Reborn's Spike. On the other side for Reborn, if I had to pick one or the other. But again, both are tanks, so we both like our tanks ourselves. But again, Karen also getting Player of the Game for support as well. I mean, you could mention FootMob as well. Both supports were doing their job, and then Endo coming in with huge plays as your DPS, as well as Zark's other POTG. So any final thoughts, my sir?
Just that this was a lot of fun to watch. I have to agree with picking somebody for an MVP from the other side, Team Reborn. I would give it to Spike as well. They played a very good Reinhardt that whole series long. But final thoughts from me is that, ExPandable, they played very strongly. They did a really great job of being disciplined in their ultimates, having really game sense and awareness of what the enemy was going to be throwing at them in that next team fight. And I think that's really crucial as you go through the season and collect these wins and go against these other teams. So yeah, just really strong showing. Both these teams played really well. It was a lot of fun to watch, and Clutch, it's always great to be on the desk with you. I always have a lot of fun.
It's always a lot of fun with you too as well. So let's wrap this thing up as we end our game here in the Rose League regular season here on November 9th of the year 2018. Let's go down the list here because we have a few people to thank. First off, controlling the camera. This was, I guess you could say, kind of last minute sort of thing, but he got everything together for us. Mr. Mats, who is the head of this entire Rose League, working the camera, working the Rose League all together. Kudos to you, sir. My hat's off. If I had a hat on, my hat's off to you, and saluting as well to you, sir. So Matt was our producer. Oh, he isn't here. How are you, sir? Good. Actually, let's go ahead and ask you before we wrap up here. Give me your 2 players of the game. Oh boy. Oh boys. Zark and Matt, you two are gonna have to talk after this. Again, you have those players that you'd love to play with, you hate to play against. Those could be 2 examples of them right there. So Reinhardt's getting your players of the game from the head of the Rose League. So hats off to you, sir, controlling the camera and controlling the Rose League itself as well. So kudos to you, sir. But let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Again, Mr. Matt, head of the Rose League, on the head of the camera as well. Mr. Zark, always a pleasure with you, sir, on the color side. Here. My name is Clutchkey on your play-by-play. We thank you guys for watching this presentation of the Rose League between Team Reborn and ExPandable Universities. In the end, it's ExPandable Universities that smells the roses and wins the series in a clean fashion of a sweep 4-0. We will see you in the future. Take care, everybody.
You tear yourself apart to entertain